my work is works on the wall, two-dimensional, works on paper, but also I do multimedia stuff. I also make recycled materials to make all these objects. One is on the wall, which I'm a tea drinker, and I save every tea bags and make objects out of it as well. And also I'm start exploring this new material, which is bronze. And so I was born and raised in Chiba, Japan. And so in the time I was born, it was during the post-war World War II era. So at the time I remember that really nothing was available, sort of, even food was like a bowl of rice. And so I tend to save everything, including all the tea bag pieces. So having grown up in a time of scarcity, I have a habit of saving materials that are part of my daily life. That's really true. Use tea bags or coffee filters, stained cloth that you can see here stitched. And even inside, there's cotton that I grew in my not currently, it's no longer, but up to 2 years ago, was stuffed inside. So anyway, so everything is kind of made my daily life. The last piece of the wreath is my used tea bags. It's actually, can you guess how many tea bags are in that to make that piece? 550. This one I call it Honoring Time. And this consists of a tea-stained cotton cloth with embroidery. So I started out embroidery in the middle, kept going, and I run into this beautiful woman from Colombia. Happened to be a mother of Angela Reina. She was visiting, and she showed interest. So I asked her, can you embroider? Or would you be interested in embroidering? So it's a collaboration. So I wanted to make sure that her name appeared. And then I'm thinking when the next visit she makes, I'm gonna hand this to her. Because I think it belongs to her. Yeah, I think she spend more time and interest in making so. Okay. So here comes the time travel. It's one on all these pieces, number 1 through 24, I think 24. It's a series of work, and it's ongoing series. But originally it was started as a Indigo Dreams, and was 2005. So Indigo Dreams was about half the size of paper at the time. And then I think I came up with like 124 or 5 of those. And what has triggered me the most is the material, the ink. And this indigo ink is actually, it's a water-soluble ink. That means if you add water to it, you run, spread, it will do its own, traveling or journey.
I have a background in painting and mark making. These are my pieces here. This series of work was mostly about experimentation. I'm developing my own brand of inks and markers. And so a lot of the inks and colors that you're seeing on these pieces are inks that I've created. Mainly the kind of imagery that you're seeing in this work is a lot of flowers and kind of the circular motif going throughout all of them. The circle very much representing the self and kind of wholeness and the identity, and then kind of these flowers representing these little bits of hope. I experienced a traumatic brain injury a couple years ago, and the idea of the circle became this almost goal to reach. Like you're reaching out to try to complete the circle, right? It's very much an experimentation on color and the way that different inks mix and match with each other, and how they bleed and how they kind of sit on the surface.
Okay, this series is called Haptics, and these are actually imprints of my hand on various clay forms. And I had started this series actually a long, long time ago in the late 20th century. And they are designed to be multi-axial sculptures. What is a multi-axial sculpture? Well, everybody thinks of a kind of a traditional sculpture. You think of Sam Houston in Herman Park. What is Sam Houston doing in Herman Park? Anybody remember what Sam Houston is doing? He is on a On a horse, right, because this is Texas. Everybody's got to be on a horse, and he's not only a horse, but is he at ground level? No, he's elevated, right, because he's he got to separate himself out from the masses. So I wanted to create kind of the opposite of this, and I wanted haptics refers to tactile and touch. And what's going to happen, there's going to be a number of things happening through the course of this faculty show, but I've enlisted Christine Larson here to help me on this. Every day, on regular intervals, as per her whim, she's going to rotate these sculptures, because these are multi-axial sculptures. So you want to do it first, or shall I do it first?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, and do it first? Okay, then you can hold my umbrella. It's kind of drippy today. So multi-axial sculptures. I tried, and this was, like I say, late 20th century, so I tried to make them interesting from a number of different angles, and also that they were able to sit at a number of different postures, and also because they fit my hand like this. When I started with this one, I started with this sort of feel to this. So this has actually been not all, a lot of sculptures have been in the sculptor's hands, but this is a work. These are works which is designed to. One actually rocks a little bit. Kind of answer the question. What if you had sculpture in a zero gravity environment? What if you had sculpture where you weren't on Earth? How would you actually view this? It's not only in the round, which is what Sam Houston's sculpture is. It's not a relief. It's like you can walk around. I mean, you can see the tail end of the horse and Sam Houston, and you can see the front and everything like this. But what if you could like float around it? Okay, we can't do that here, although we are in the city to do that because, of course, we're in Houston, and you could take a Vomit Comet ride. If you have large amounts of money, you can go up and experience a few seconds of zero gravity. But instead, I want people to kind of use their imaginations and sort of come by and see what position Christine's put them in today, and for this hour or for this chunk of time, because they're all meant to be movable. This is the ceramics equal to improvisation. This is a topological sculpture. Topological, what is topology? Anybody have an idea of what topology means? Surface. It's the study of surface. And if you talk to a mathematician versed in topology, then you get large sums of numbers and symbols coming out and all sorts of stuff like this. But I was very interested in topology when I was studying sculpture, and I was interested in letting the material kind of guide itself. This is clay, and of course it's been fired, so it's hard, but also at the same time, when I was manipulating it, it was a very tactile process. And one of the things that I'll do with this is it has a front and back to it, and the back is kind of different than the front. A little bit more skeletal, a little bit more referential, and this one is actually being shown for the first time, because with some of my works I'm very uncertain about it, and I have a painting that I've just come up with a title for only after 35 years of painting it, and I finally said, okay, I know this painting has taught me enough. I can actually title it, and I know exactly what the heck it's talking about. This one is actually being shown for the first time. This one started out down the road at Rice with my teacher, George Smith, and then it went to Chicago, and it went up to Northern Canada, and then it came back down to Houston, and this is its premiere. So this one's taught me quite a lot, and so I figured at the very least it deserves to be seen by other people. So I hope it talks to you as well. For those people that don't know my iMusic scores, this is graphic notation. This is artwork that's designed to be played. And you can wonder, how the heck is artwork designed to be played? Well, on all the iMusic scores, of which the artworks are an example of iMusic scores, there is a hidden story. Only the musicians get the story. So it's a 21st century version of 19th century program music. 19th century program music, you go to Houston Symphony and you open up, okay, Don Juan, and you read the story about Don Juan and you hear the music and you connect the story with the music, and And it's kind of a pre-movie show, right? You use your imagination to hear what Don Juan's doing, and the music fills in all the emotional and sometimes the action events, and you come away sort of with that culmination of hearing the music, reading the program, and you're left with that experience. This is a little bit more enigmatic, and so to a certain extent it's a little taken from Sir Edward Elgar's Enigma Variations. He wrote a number of variations, and he wouldn't tell anybody what the variations were, but they were about his friends, and one was from a dog. And towards the end of his life, he revealed all the variations. But the extra added enigma was that this whole piece of music is actually just part of a melody, and he never, ever told you what the full melody was. He died with that secret. We don't know what the full melody is. It's only partially in the piece. So this is a mystery that has gone to the grave. We will never know. And music historians are just going crazy. There's papers written and debates and all this sort of stuff. Well, I kind of like that idea. I kind of like the idea of not everything. We live in an era where, you look at the next Facebook page or the next TikTok thing or the next, and everybody's spilling their guts for this moment. So I don't want to spill my guts for all this moment. I want some things to be hidden. So these are hidden stories. Only the musicians get them, and so therefore only the musicians will be affected by them. So they take a look at the artwork, they read the story, and then they perform a piece of music. And on November 14th, we're going to have not one, but two groups. So this is actually one of my dreams, to actually have two different groups perform the same iMusic score on the same evening, or the same afternoon for here. So they're going to give a little workshop and discussion here, and a little talk and a little mini performance, and then we're going to move over to the recital hall for 2 o'clock. And Relative Dissonance, which is one of the groups, is going to play their version of the score, and then Loop 38, which is another group of musicians, is going to play their version of the score. Music, art, dance, writing, it's a human activity, and that's what I advocate for. I advocate for the removal of hierarchies and structures which would inhibit a person from exploring the human activities. So I think that's what I go for in all of my iMusic scores.